think it's more likely it would be due west. Am I to understand looking at this that we're back in that bloody swamp?
Yes.
So how sure are you of this?
Me?
Yeah, absolutely sure. I don't care how difficult it is. I really don't. I mean, I'll go in there by myself. And that, Rick Lag, is why you are going to find this. Just 3 minutes ago, Rick and Marty Lagina may have finally hit the jackpot deep within the tunnels of Oak Island. For 8 years, they've been tirelessly excavating this enigmatic location, driven by tales of treasure buried by Spanish pirates, British soldiers, or perhaps the mysterious Knights Templar. Their most tantalizing clue came when they drained a swamp and unearthed an ancient spike dating back 300 years and possibly linked to a Spanish galleon. What if this spike is just the beginning, and beneath it lies something even more sinister? Let us explore the most massive treasures on this haunted island, the sunken secrets of Nova Scotia's Hidden Isle. For over 8 years, Rick and Marty Lagina, along with their dedicated team, have been excavating on Nova Scotia's Oak Island, fueled by the enticing prospect of uncovering hidden riches. However, they still don't know who might have buried treasure there in the first place. Were the culprits Spanish pirates, British soldiers, or possibly the Knights Templar? Moreover, the question arises, why would anyone go through the trouble of burying valuables on such a secluded island? As the digging continues, public interest remains high, drawing us deeper into the activities on Oak Island, where each discovery is touted as potentially significant. Rick, convinced of its complexity, commands the draining of the swamp, believing that it may yield some answers. Once the water is lowered, Gary takes over with his metal detector. Beneath a wooden board, he detects something intriguing. After some digging, the team unearths an old spike resembling those used on Spanish ships from the late 1600s to early 1700s. Believing it to be the first human touch it has received in about 300 years, veteran treasure hunters like Fred Nolan have suggested that the swamp, peculiarly shaped into a triangle, might have been deliberately constructed long ago to cover up an old shipwreck. This idea spawns further speculation. Could it have been the work of Spanish pirates using the swamp as a giant hiding spot? The team hopes that exploring this previously inaccessible part of the swamp will reveal physical evidence to support the theory that it was artificially made. The importance of excavating the Nolan side of the swamp stems from Fred Nolan's long-held belief that it might be central to solving the puzzle of the island. Could there be a sunken ship or a concealed vault there? During one of their digs, Rick comes across a log with a sharpened end, suggesting that more than one person was involved in its placement, possibly indicating human alteration of the environment. To navigate the muddy terrain of the drained swamp, the team sets up a grid for better management and uses metal detectors in areas where the soil is soft. On one such occasion, Gary's detector signals something not far below the surface. Eagerly, they dig and unearth a large, weathered iron object, possibly a piece of a larger item. Examining the artifact, they notice distinctive grooves and bends, speculating it could be part of a chest or perhaps a bracket from a ship. The team, standing at the edge of the island, lets their imaginations wander to visions of sunken ships filled with wealth. Among the new finds is a piece of charred wood embedded in the iron, suggesting the possibility of a ship intentionally set on fire and sunk in the swamp. Why would someone destroy a ship in this manner? The action implies an attempt to hide something valuable or important. In the southeastern part of the swamp, the team discovers what looks like a stone pathway or perhaps part of a ship's dock buried under the mud and water. This significant find sparks a flurry of discussions about its historical implications. Spooner suggests that the stone layer they uncovered dates back to the early 1700s, possibly indicating that the pathway was used for transporting valuable goods. The team's next find with their metal detectors is about to change everything. In the money pit's hidden structures, Gary and his teammate continue their search with metal detectors, their excitement mounting with each signal. They soon uncover an ancient pin, its surface weathered by time. The pin resembles a plumb bob, a tool used in building and surveying for centuries. This discovery leads to speculation about its origins and possible connection to early colonial activities or even earlier times. As the group gathers around the newly found pin, they consider its importance and how it might link to other historical finds or structures on the island. Nearby, a wooden structure starts to emerge from the muddy ground, raising questions about its relationship to the legendary money pit. The team anxiously awaits a report from Steve Guptill, the surveyor, hoping his findings might provide the breakthrough they need. With renewed determination, they press on with their exploration, driven by the hope of uncovering the long-sought answers about Oak Island, careful not to overstate the significance of each discovery as conclusive evidence. Steve starts his briefing by noting the similarities between the old cobblestone path uncovered last year and the new cobbles they were currently standing on. He points out how these matched the surrounding land levels quite closely, suggesting they were purposefully aligned to head north toward the Money Pit's Grid C1. This path alignment sparks curiosity among the team members, leading them to wonder about its intended purpose and whether it was deliberately aimed in that direction. Rick, Alex, Peter, and Doug gather around what appears to be an ancient Roman stone road. Their interest is clear as they discuss why such a path would exist in a boggy area and speculate about the immense effort that must have gone into constructing it. This path was remarkably similar to one they had previously found in the Oak Island swamp, which led them to consider if Roman road-building techniques had influenced broader architectural traditions, possibly even affecting the Portuguese, who were connected with the Knights of Christ. Driven by this idea, the team eagerly compares different construction methods, hoping to find any ties between Portuguese historical explorations and Oak Island. Elsewhere, the ongoing work in the swamp was just one among many attempts to understand the complexities of Oak Island. Over at the Money Pit area, Rick, Marty, and other team members were analyzing new sonar data that hinted at man-made structures deep within Aladdin's cave. Steve noted that the straight lines shown in the sonar images didn't appear natural, and he was hopeful that viewing them in a 3D model would offer more clarity. Terry Matt suggested that learning about these structures' construction methods might reveal significant information about historical excavation and building techniques in the area. During a review session of the sonar data, Rick spotted something unusual and asked Paul to adjust the orientation of the image. As the image shifted, Terry noticed a sandy slope that might be covering other important findings. Marty observed a perfectly square wall on one side of the cave, concluding that it must be man-made and could potentially be hiding a treasure trove. Their discoveries deepen, pushing them to dig further into the island's secrets inside Aladdin's cave. The team then deliberated on how to access deeper into the cave, considering drilling toward a subtle echo that seemed to indicate another opening. They planned to lower a camera into the drill hole, hoping it would reveal more details about the cave's interior and possibly guide their subsequent actions. Rick emphasized the need for a careful assessment before moving forward. The next day, they started drilling a new borehole named L3.5 to gather more data from Aladdin's cave. At the same time, efforts were underway to manage the influx of water into the garden shaft, showcasing the continual struggle against natural elements in their quest. Meanwhile, at the Interpretive Center, Craig Tester, Peter Fornetti, Jack Begley, and archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan consulted with blacksmith expert Carmen Legg about intriguing artifacts from Lot 5, a metal strap and a heavy fastener. These were thought to possibly belong to a 17th-century chest or trunk. Carmen's examination, combined with Emma's detailed scans, revealed features consistent with a clasp from a small chest, corroborating the suspected time frame and adding another layer of historical context to their findings. In another part of the site, archaeologists Helen Sheldon and Moya MacDonald were investigating changes in the soil composition on Lot 5. Their excavation led to the discovery of what looked like a barrel strap with an attached nail, which exhibited a greenish tint, a sign of copper use known for its resistance to corrosion. This find connected back to earlier discoveries of wooden cargo barrels near the Stone Road or Ship's Pier in the swamp, suggesting a historical operation that might have used the swamp as an open harbor for transferring goods to the Money Pit. These discoveries prompted the team to speculate about the strategic importance of Lot 5 in the broader context of Oak Island's activities. They hypothesized that this area might have served as a staging ground for the constructions and operations around the Money Pit, adding another piece to the puzzle of human activity on the island. Their discussions and findings continued to fuel their enthusiasm as they pieced together the historical narrative of Oak Island. As the artifact was safely stored for later examination by Emma, Jack joined Helen and Moya in searching the area for historical clues on the island, though it was uncertain whether their efforts would yield any notable discoveries. Meanwhile, those at the Money Pit were filled with anticipation as they awaited the results from borehole L3.5, eager to see if it would provide insights into what was affectionately referred to as Aladdin's cave. Overseeing the drilling, Terry, Ma, and the island's historian Charles Barris targeted a large underground space believed to be around 150 foot down. Mike from the drilling crew reported that he reached the cavern at about 141 feet, encountering a small gap before hitting the usual bedrock and gravel. Steve from the excavation crew confirmed reaching the cavern, and they decided to lower a camera to get a better look inside. The camera, built to work in dim light and equipped with a 360 degrees view, was meant to give a detailed look at the environment inside the cavern. Terry and Steve watched the feed, hopeful to uncover something substantial in the depths of the cavern. Terry was particularly struck by the size of the cave and the presence of minerals in the water, suggesting it might be the location of the so-called offset chain believed to be linked to a valuable find. New findings fueled their quest, driving the team to seek even deeper truths, the stone foundations of history. As the camera sank into the dark waters of Aladdin's cave, the team strained to make sense of images blurred by the disturbed sediment. The camera captured jagged edges and straight lines, possibly signs of a damaged cavern wall. They focused on what looked like a wall's edge, and excitement grew when the camera seemed to reveal a man-made entrance, stirring up more sediment. Alex and others watched eagerly as the footage displayed what looked like an opening or the beginning of a hallway. Excited by this potential breakthrough, Alex called Terry Matt over to view what might be an important discovery. The prospect of a man-made entrance fueled hopes of finding something significant beyond it. As they lowered the camera further, it revealed a distinct area between two sidewalls. Although the murky water made it difficult to see details, Steve proposed using sonar to better gauge the cave size, and the team agreed to conduct a sonar scan from this new position. The next day, the team from Decontracting Limited pressed on with their work near the shoreline on Lot 5. Jack Begley, Jamie Kuba, Moya McDonald, and Fiona Steele were careful as they dug through the layers of a puzzling stone foundation. As they delved deeper, Jack pointed out shifting rocks, indicating the need for careful excavation. They found artifacts that suggested they were uncovering a historically significant structure. Moya noted the large rocks, thinking they were part of a wall, leading the team to speculate about a structure that could be older than the money pit. Fiona believed that revealing these features could help identify the original builders and their connection to the island's history. However, understanding the structure's layout became more challenging as they encountered collapsed rocks and misaligned features. Jamie speculated that what might have been a taller wall had collapsed over time. The exposed rocks offered potential insights into the structure, with one side showing clean soil and the other possibly indicating more of the building. Their curiosity deepened, and the team expressed interest in consulting with Larnen, known for his expertise in the island's historical structures. Elle joined Jack and the team to examine the stone foundation, now believed to possibly reveal a wall feature. The possibility that the structure was originally taller and had since collapsed added another layer to the island's complex history. Jack also discussed the interesting connection between the dark soil and the nearby iron pieces and nails, suggesting a more extensive structure than first thought. Rick Lagina and Craig Tester joined Scott Barlow at the Money Pit area, where the Decontracting Limited team was dealing with a mysterious influx of water flooding the garden shaft. Scott reported that the water was rising rapidly, creating new challenges as they tried to find its source. Roger, with a camera in the shaft, captured footage of water bursting into the space with considerable force, revealing a small cavern behind the wooden wall lining the shaft filled with timber. This unexpected finding, possibly indicating an offset chamber or an unknown cavity, sparked speculation about where it might lead. The team considered enlarging the hole to further explore the cavern, wondering if this frustrating setback might inadvertently lead to a significant discovery past layers of earth and time. The team is close to a breakthrough that could rewrite history, the buried mysteries of Lot 5. The story of Oak Island has captivated many for over 2 centuries. Starting with the discovery of the Money Pit in 1795, people have always been intrigued by the prospect of hidden treasures and historical relics buried on the island. Each dig raises more questions than it answers. Figures like Rick, Marty, Craig, and their team are now working hard to piece together the island's past, exploring layer by layer to uncover its history. Water has always been a major challenge here, just as it was for the first treasure seekers who dug into the island's surface over 200 years ago. These obstacles add an element of difficulty to the exploration, but also make the process more interesting. Recent excavations, especially near Lot 5, revealed an old foundation that brought up more than just dirt. They stirred up stories from long ago. The finding of this rectangular foundation, along with various old items, suggests there might have been military activities on the island long before it became famous for treasure hunting. During their intense digging effort, the team found a structure that seems to have been intentionally buried. They believe this structure was built in the 1700s, around the same time as another nearby depression in the ground. It's interesting to think about whether these two were built at the same time or one after the other. It seems the earlier circular depression may have influenced the building of the later rectangular foundation. A significant find was a piece of creamware dated to 1762 within the rectangular foundation. If this date is correct, it suggests significant activities on Lot 5 before 1762, possibly related to military purposes, which predates the discovery of the money pit. This creamware, along with other items found, hints that the island might have been a place of important activities involving careful planning and resource use. As digging continued, more pieces of creamware from the mid-1700s were found, along with a fragment of a valuable porcelain teacup. The quantity and quality of these items suggest that the area saw frequent and possibly wealthy activities, challenging the simple stories of treasure hunting that have long been associated with Oak Island. The structure itself turned out to be more complicated than first thought. Initially believed to be a basic rock-lined pit, further digging showed that the center was filled with loose rocks, unlike the well-preserved surrounding areas. This difference led to new thoughts about why the foundation was built. It might have been designed to contain or protect something rather than just serve as a dump or storage area. These findings lead to an important question. What was the real purpose of these foundations? Were they just ordinary buildings, or did they play a part in a bigger plan that included military operations or hiding valuable items? The fact that these structures were built before the island was officially divided into lots by Charles Morris in 1762 and before the discovery of the money pit adds importance to their historical role. While the team continues to explore and study these discoveries, the true purpose and nature of these structures remain unclear. The bits of pottery and porcelain, the way the foundations were built, and the context in which they were created all point to a complex and layered history for Oak Island. This history goes beyond the simple tales of pirates and buried riches that initially attracted explorers to its shores. The island continues to hold back its complete story, offering only small glimpses into its past, leaving those digging into its soil to wonder about the real events that took place on its intriguing landscape. What secrets do these foundations hold beneath Oak Island? Could there be more than history buried deep? Comment your theories below, and don't forget to subscribe for more mysteries.